Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me is Julian, Head of Digital Business Initiatives and Esports at F1 to discuss the popularity of F1 Esports and overall digital approach. Julian, it's great to meet with you. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thanks, Jill. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, and the popularity of F1 Esports has grown rapidly since its inception in 2017. What do you think has made it such a success?
You know, I think we're in such a special place from an esports and motorsports perspective, whereby there are a lot of parallels between both the real world and the virtual world that has really catapulted Formula One esports into new heights within the esports arena. What we're trying to do here is something that's very special. We're trying to create, something that has sort of elements that you can't replicate in any other way, and appeals to a younger generation and get them engaged with Formula One through video gaming and through esports, which we know is where Gen Zs and Gen Alphas spend the majority of their time nowadays.
And Julian, tell us about how the introduction of the F1 Esports Women's Wildcard and the impact you hope it will have.
You know, I think we're in such a unique position with esports that enables us to democratize the sport in such a way that, you're not able to do in any other sort of form. And we have a real opportunity to use esports to get an underrepresented group of people who by nature, anyone should be able to do, to do well on the video game, whether you're male or female, old or young, able-bodied or disabled-bodied, you should be able to perform, because at the end of the day is how much time you spend on the video game. But what we're seeing is that there is a disproportionately low number of female gamers, and there are sort of systemic and institutional biases here that drive these trends. So we felt that with the women's wildcard, we were able to kind of address this at a grassroots level to get, bigger, wider representation from a demographic who we know enjoy racing. They enjoy the thrill of Formula One as much as any other demographic. And, I think it's a brilliant way to get, wider diversity and inclusion for our sport, which is really important when we think about sort of that future growth for our future sports fan.
How do you think the F1 Esports strategy and overall digital approach has helped you engage with that younger audience who could become the next gen of fans?
It's really important. Nielsen recently published a study analyzing Formula One's future growth in fans. And they predicted that Formula One was on track to reach 1 billion fans by 2022, I believe. And 77% of that growth would be driven by this younger generation, people below the age of 35, sort of, below the age of 25. And they cited esports, our esports series, as well as Netflix Drive to Survive, as kind of the key drivers for that. And this is really important because, as I said, with the younger generation, they're spending most of their leisure time gaming. And so as a sport, we need to be thinking about ways in which we can reach out to our future sports fan and speak to them in a language that they understand.
And Julian, just to recap here, what does the future hold for F1 Esports?
I think the future is bright. I think that there are a lot of synergies between esports and Formula One that we can continue to cultivate and grow for the future growth of our sports fans at Formula One. I think that we are creating something that's very special by way of racing content that is breaking the mold in the way that people are sort of enjoying a new form of entertainment. And with esports, I think that we will continue to see the industry continue to burgeon, and Formula One esports to do the same as well.
All right, Julian, appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks, and thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.